What's up guys, Jordy here for Cinecom.net and welcome to YouTube Space in Brussels. Look at all those people over there. Now, this morning I gave a workshop here about camera essentials, and that comes down to taking control over your camera. And one of the things was that you had to edit first and then shoot your video. But what's that all about? This video is brought to you by Storyblocks. If you are looking for video effects, logo reveals, backgrounds, transitions, and more, it is the library you need. With a 1-year subscription, you can download as much as you want. Want to see it for yourself first? Then follow the first link in the description below to get a 7-day trial for free. Making your edit first is crucial. If you are shooting a fiction film, you're making that edit in the form of a storyboard or shot list. But when you're out shooting an event, a vlog or whatever, you probably don't have that storyboard. And it's also nearly impossible to make one as everything happens on the spot. The story is written on the moment itself and it can change constantly. And that's why we need to shoot for the edit. In other words, we have to think about how we are going to edit the video before hitting that record button. Now this comes in 3 stages. The first one is the global picture. You're going to need an exciting intro, a middle section where you want to show your content, and finally something to end the video. Sometimes you can already think about this up front. Other times you'll need to think about getting these specific shots on the moment. Now what is a good intro? An intro sets a certain tone. It should raise curiosity and briefly explains what the video will be about. However, don't make this too long. You want to jump as fast as possible to the middle section, and that part is of course the essence of the video. Now if you're standing in front of some action that is about to happen, and an example that I also gave in my workshop at YouTube Space was a woman walking up to a bar and ordering a cocktail. A very simple action, but if you're going to dive straight into it, not knowing how you will edit this afterwards, it might turn up as a mess that you eventually can't use. And that's why we need to quickly think about the shots of that individual scene first and then dive into it. For example, a long shot of that person walking up to the bar, a medium shot of her ordering her drink, a close-up of the glass being poured in, and again a long shot of her walking with her drink away from the bar. And every shot that you take should have a difference in frame size. So you want to go from a close-up to long shot to medium shot to close-up, etc. Never go from a medium shot to a medium shot, as that will result in a jump cut. Now, of course, you can just let your camera roll while the entire action goes. Just make sure to quickly change in those frame sizes by zooming in and out or stepping backwards and forwards. Now, doing this gives you the advantage of cutting the clips where you want, thus having much more control over the time of that scene. And it just makes the entire action look a lot more dynamic. Next up are transitions. If you know upfront which 2 shots will come together in your edit, you can pay attention to that. For example, you could film a room from a certain angle when it's empty. Then after the guests have entered that room and perhaps taken their seats, you make that exact same shot. Then in post-production, you apply a glitch transition over it, or a small bump. But this is only something you can create if you think about that up front or while you are filming. Now, other fun transitions is where you first film something and then wipe your camera. In your next shot, you start with wiping your camera in. Then just place these 2 shots next to each other and you have a pretty cool transition. And if you would like to see 5 more of such camera transitions, make sure to click in the cards up there, or you can also find a link in the description below. And finally is the outro of your video, and this doesn't have to be much. Just make sure that you are wrapping up the video with a final image that stays remembered. And this can be something abstract or something that you've put in scene. Think about something that is a little bit different. Now, I had a great time in YouTube Space Brussels and received tons of great feedback on the workshop. The workshop actually comes from an online class where you can learn the entire essentials of DSLR filmmaking, starting with taking control over the manual settings so that you can make artistic choices and tell a visual story. The class just costs $15 for a month, and that will give you not only access to our course, but also to the entire library from Skillshare. It's definitely something worth to check it out if you want to get yourself to that next level. I'll have a link to it in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay creative. How to do a photobomb. Sorry, how to do a photobomb. I'm again too late, damn it. How to do a photobomb.